Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Richard Burns. This is the Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. Y'alls, I'm in sexy red territory. Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri. Yes, yes indeed. Amazing little town. It is. It's actually busted out here. Economically busted. May not be able to tell from what you see along this highway, but once you take one of these exits and get into the interior a little bit, yeah, you see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about. You see, that's the main purpose of some of the sections of these highways that are built. They want to get you through a town as quickly as possible, and you don't have to get exposed to the grime. Some people lost land and homes to build these highways. It's called eminent domain. If a government feels the need to acquire the land for whatever reason, they'll give you an offering for your property. It may not be the best price. You know, somebody could be selling the same type of property that you have for a much higher price, but the government's going to give you market value, and they're taking it. Eminent domain. So who knows? They might have some kind of project or something. They got something, and then they build a highway on it or build a structure on it, whatever the case is. But for the highways, yeah, they're gonna cut right down it's happened, okay? They've cut right down the middle of a vibrant community, right down the middle of that thing. And oh well. Now the government could justify however they want. That's just the way it is. The people who were voted in or enough of the people that were voted in said, yeah, this is a great idea. Let's take these people's property. Let's take these people's homes. Let's kick them out. And let's put something in its place that has nothing to do with community building. Nothing. They can disguise it as something for economic development. Well, the future will let you know whether that was the case or not, but maybe they could have applied a different solution and kept the community intact and growing and developing instead of disrupting it. Maybe. That's one of the complexities of life. But where's Sexy Red at, man? I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. Qu'est-ce que c'est? It's what it is. You know, There was something really terrible that occurred in Alabama these couple of days ago, maybe. Shout out to the professor who's originally from Alabama. I forget what town in Alabama or what city in Alabama it was. It was one of the big cities. I don't remember which one, but there was a shooting. Now this is interesting. This caught my attention immediately because I don't know, maybe you've seen some of my videos, and if you have, you're aware that, you know, I like to point to the fact that marketing and propaganda is something that we get bombarded with, and it impacts us, especially with our pockets. It impacts us. But it's not just used for directing money in a certain direction. It's also used for shaping our political landscape. They called this shooting, the press called this shooting a mass shooting. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that because previously reported mass shootings had a couple of details that help maybe define what the average person considered a mass shooting. Now, technically, what happened in Alabama was a mass shooting. Technically. Because many people got shot. So yeah, you can classify that as a mass shooting. But compare this mass shooting with previous mass shootings that have been reported for the past 8 years. Is there a difference? Yes, there is. And there's one big difference. You see, previous mass shootings, the perpetrator didn't have a specific target or an individual for a target. Let me say it that way. It wasn't a person who was trying to take one or two people out that they knew that was being done for revenge, or that was being done to take property from them. That's not what those shootings were about. For example, a drive-by. Typically, a drive-by can be classified as a mass shooting because more than one person might get hit. And if more than one person gets hit, that's technically a mass shooting. But you already know it's either payback for something that was done wrong to the shooter, or something personal that was done to the shooter. And that's what happened in Alabama. But other mass shootings that have been reported had a shooter that wasn't paying back another person for something that was done wrong to them. So for some reason, they're trying to use that term, mass shooting, to maybe cause some kind of confusion. create an argument about this term, mass shooting. Mass shooting, prior to this one, has been consistently used for people that have shown up to a location that has fired upon people that has not done them wrong. New York, Columbine. I mean, you can go down the list of all the Colorado, the shootings in Colorado. You can go down the list. These aren't revenge shootings. These are just people showing up with weapons and injuring or unaliving people that didn't do them wrong. But from the reports I heard in Alabama recently, it was a retaliatory attack. But like I said, you know, it caught my attention that they wanted to use the term mass shooting. And you got to be careful. See, this is, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was in Birmingham, Alabama. That's where it was. But these are the type of little details that communications professionals play with. This is their playground. This is how they work. They understand how people respond to words, specific words, and how they arrange those specific words in a sentence. They understand it. They know what the result will be. They're super slick. I'm telling you, marketing is powerful. Propaganda is powerful. Now, I could run my mouth about this all day, every day on this channel because I don't have many subscribers. What do I have? 78 subscribers? That's tiny. This is insignificant. This channel is insignificant. So, while I warn people about the effects of propaganda and marketing and how it impacts the direction of where you transfer your power to. Remember, I refer to your money as power. How you transfer your power, what direction you transfer your power to, how you're convinced of where your power should go, and how you can make the necessary changes to retain more of your power. Of course, once the channel hits a much bigger crowd, depending on how big, yes, my dialogue will change, because I'm not trying to destroy where we all live, because where we all live right now is an economy that's based on consumption. It's based on consumption. 70% of our economy is consumption. Now, of course, if the channel were to reach millions of followers, I would have to be a little more responsible as to how people coexist within this economy. But back to marketing and propaganda, right? This is the type of country where you can fool your way into a fortune. The greatest fortunes that are amassed in this country are amassed through sales. Sales is the number one way that people amass the greatest fortunes. Yeah, selling dreams, selling items, selling whatever. It is how the greatest fortunes have been amassed. Look at Tesla, for example. There are so many people investing in that company. And to be honest, that company is not all that. But you got somebody like Elon Musk who is an excellent salesman. He's excellent at sales. His product ain't all that. But he's got enough people convinced that it is, that the money is flowing in his direction. Sales. I featured Sam Bankman-Fried for FTX, the exchange where you bought and sold cryptocurrency, the one that's doing time right now. Sales. That's it, folks. That's marketing, okay? That's marketing. Like it or not, that's marketing. There are plenty of people that have bought stuff that would look okay. Perfect example. In the 70s, this person became a millionaire. He took a wire, bent it up, but before he bent it up, he covered it and made it look like a leash, like a dog leash. That's what he made it look like. He became a millionaire selling this dog leash, the invisible dog. The invisible dog. He made a fortune on that. What about the moon rock? Made a fortune on that. People have made fortunes because of their ability to sell things that didn't improve your life not one bit. Listen, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so I get on one of my social media platforms and I start bragging. Oh, and this is another thing to take into consideration when it comes to propaganda. The use of a word or a phrase to try to make everything seem equal, to try to make to use it as, what's that type of argument that's used so often now? Trying to make everything seem, trying to make everything seem equal. Like one thing is just as bad as the other, or one thing is just as good as the other. No, they're not. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. Imagine Imagine I come on one of my social media platforms, out of breath, and talking about how I escaped being torn apart by a dog. I escaped it. I might be up a tree while I'm recording myself, breathing heavy, saying, oh my God, I almost got tore up by a dog. The dog's not here anymore. The dog gave up. The dog realized that he couldn't get to me anymore, so he's gone. Well, I don't know what gender the dog is, but it doesn't matter. The dog is gone. I saw the dog running for me from a distance while I was in this parking lot. Luckily for me, this parking lot has trees, and I was only a few feet away from this tree, and the limbs were low enough so that I could jump and grab onto a limb and secure myself onto this limb. Thankfully, the limb is strong enough to support my weight, and that dog came flying toward me, flying at me. I know it came for me because it was at the bottom of the tree. He wasn't wagging his tail, he was waiting. He was just waiting for me to come down off that tree. And it was growling and showing his teeth. I know he wanted to bite me, I know it. I saved my... Could you imagine how much sympathy I'm gonna garner from everybody? Oh my God. Are you okay? Wow, you're so lucky that you were able to climb that tree and not get bit. Maybe somebody in the comments will be curious and ask me, was it a pit? Was it a rot? What was it? Are you okay? Man. And I'll just continue with my story. I won't answer the question. I'll just keep posting details about what sneakers I had, how the dog didn't look like it had rabies, but it definitely didn't appreciate my existence or whatever. I'll just keep going. I ain't answering no questions. I'm just talking about the experience. Now, I want you to stop and think for 1 second. I know some of my subscribers have dogs. Can you identify with that experience? Can you identify with somebody who spots a dog coming at them with the thought that that dog is probably coming to attack them, and they do whatever they gotta do not to get bit by this dog? Can you identify with that? Where am I going with this story? Okay. A very important detail, and this is how it works with marketing and propaganda. This is how it works. There might be a very important detail that I'm deliberately leaving out because there's a particular narrative that I want you to complete. And I know that if I say it a certain way, I know that you're going to draw a particular conclusion. Whether right or wrong, you are going to create the narrative. You're going to finish the narrative. You're going to complete the narrative. You're going to fill in places in that story. You're going to fill in the gaps. You're going to fill it in to your experiences, to your knowledge. Now, if I want something from you, if it's sympathy I want from you, I'm gonna let you rock with whatever narrative you created from however you filled in the gaps. I'm gonna let you rock with that. I want your sympathy. Go ahead. What kind of dog was it? What kind of dog was it? All right, look. Let me tell you what kind of dog it was so that you understand why I jumped on that tree limb and saved myself. It was a Chihuahua. It was a Chihuahua. Now, there's no sympathy anymore. Now there's ridicule. Now there are people that are saying, are you for real? That one little detail. But a Chihuahua's a dog. I'm using terms that identify something that you can understand. A dog. Yeah, a Chihuahua. I mean, seriously? I can kick that thing into orbit if I wanted to. It'll be the first dog in outer space without a spacesuit. But I met my objective. I wanted sympathy. I used the term that everybody knows. I connected that term with another term, dog, fear, run. You filled in the gaps. I didn't say what kind of dog it was, but you imagined in your head, because of those words that I selected, dogs, fear, escape, run. That's how marketing works. Propaganda is actually worse. Propaganda is worse because with propaganda, I will push an entire lie. I can say that I was in a parking lot and I got chased down by a tiger. It sounds now with propaganda, yeah, you can make something as ridiculous as what I just said. You can make people accept and repeat that if I say it over and over and over again, no matter how ridiculous it is. But with both, yeah, all I have to do is connect certain words together and let you fill in the gap. Or I can use certain terminology to make you feel a certain way. Damn it, how many times have I said it? As when it comes to investing, when it comes to what you do with your power, you gotta be careful with your emotions. Now, again, my narrative will change. My content will change if I hit the millions of subscribers. I'm gonna be more careful because, of course, again, marketing is what convinces people to buy things to buy a lot of things that they don't even need. But they feel like it brings them joy. So I hope you feel like you got something from this video, y'all. Hey, stay fresh. Keep it profitable. Now, go have fun with Kitty.
Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem aça. Göremedi kimseden fayda, işler